Hey, great time for a Bitcoin update video because I think we're getting very close to a major bottom before new all-time highs. I want to break down my thesis and invalidations for that, what I'm expecting as far as a bottom formation that we're going to be seeing here soon as the most likely scenario in my eyes, and market structure, everything. I'll talk about it all. So, important Bitcoin update. Haven't made one in a while because I'm posting over on X with all my frequent update. It's much easier to just quickly update my ideas on X with a post. And so follow me on X if you don't already follow me. And also for exchange, make sure to use Bitunix if you need an exchange that allows everyone globally, no KYC needed. So Bitunix still allowing everyone no KYC or VPN needed to use this exchange for crypto trading. So check out Bitunix with my link, and that is it. Let's get into this update. So most important thing, as always, is the market structure, and so that's going to be kind of the basis of my bullish thesis. And so what we need to do is determine where price is at, in what structure, on what time frame. And so let's just go through it super quickly. Right now, we're in bearish structure on daily time frame. We're in bearish structure on the weekly time frame. We're in bearish structure on the 4-hour time frame. But most importantly, we're in bullish structure on the monthly time frame still. And we're not just in the bullish monthly structure, we are at a discount zone of the bullish monthly structure. Okay, so let's just go to the monthly time frame because we're already in bearish structure on the weekly. We're already in bearish structure on the daily, on the 4-hour. And so we need to go higher. When we break the structure down to a bearish structure on the weekly, on the daily, we can kind of default out to the next higher time frame structure, so then we can kind of know where to look for a pullback, how deep to expect that pullback to go in the context of the current structure. And so the monthly structure is what I have marked here on my chart, and this is what it looks like. So we have the bullish monthly structure high, we have the monthly bull structure low here. And so as long as this doesn't close before or below the monthly bull structure low, which is located around 74,500. So if we don't get a monthly close below that level, we're still in bullish monthly structure, okay? And so when we're in bullish market structure, we have an edge for continuation to the upside. And so that's why we want to look for continuations to the upside and trying to enter in at a discount with the current trend, expecting continuation of that current trend because we have an edge for continuation, which means that it happens more times than not. So whether that be 60%, 65% of the time, 70% of the time, it doesn't really matter, but we have an edge. So we have a higher chance that this doesn't close below 75 or 74K on the monthly time frame. We have a higher chance that this goes up and closes over 126,500 or so before closing below that level. Okay, so it doesn't mean it can't happen. Remember, we're just working with probabilities here. But when we're in bullish structure, which we are on the monthly, going to be looking for continuation to the upside. You can look here at my post on X. So this is kind of the thesis that I'm going with at the moment. It's kind of a 3-wave corrective pattern where there's a higher high and a higher low. And you can see we've had it multiple times in the past. It happens in all markets, not just Bitcoin. It's just a common pattern that you'll see in strong trends. And I'm just looking at it as kind of a vertical accumulation style of correction where we're going to the upside, but it's all just one big corrective movement before a continuation to the upside. So like this. So this structure right here, the anticipation is going to be a follow through to the upside out of there to continue the monthly bullish structure. So this is what I'm currently expecting, unless we are to break down. And now let's talk about, before getting into the lower time frames, to kind of talk about what I'm looking for to pinpoint a bottom of this pullback. Let's also talk about the invalidation. So let's say that it does break down below 75 or 74.5 on the monthly and closes down there. Then we just need to default out to a higher time frame structure, which in this case would be much, much more bearish. Okay, so if we do lose that level, we're talking about a pullback of this structure right here at best. Okay, so you can just see we had our last bear market or bullish structure pullback. It's all just a bullish uptrend, really, but it's a larger pullback, so it's going to be deeper. And what I'd expect is something along the lines of 44,500. That would be a 50% retracement of this whole move up. And so that would be normal to retrace down 50% at least. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does. We don't know for sure. We never know in trading. We're just, trying to do the best we can. It's all an educated guess with trading. So no one knows what's going to happen next. But I'm just saying, if we lose that monthly, then we kind of have to default out to the 3-month or the 6-month structure, and then expect just a deeper pullback. So we'd be working with a correction of this entire move up. Okay, so this move from down at 15K up to 126, we'd be dealing with a correction of that entire move before another continuation to the upside, which means deeper. Okay, just means deeper pullback, a correction of that entire move. Doesn't, we don't know exactly where it's going to land right now. It's too early to say, but essentially that's what the idea there would be if we lose the monthly structure. But we don't need to worry about that yet, because right now we have a higher probability of the monthly structure working out to the upside than breaking down and closing below 74.5. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now we can talk about the bottoming process here. We're going to just go with this idea of the 3-wave vertical accumulation before expansion to the upside. That's what I think is most likely. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm just breaking down my thesis, and I've already told you my invalidation and what's expected if the invalidation is hit. So we can then just move on with this bottoming process and just kind of assuming that this is the scenario that we're going to go with for now. That's you don't have to agree with it. Here we have a nice push down, quite a bit of momentum to the downside at the current lows. Okay, so what that tells me is there's a chance we aren't bottoming yet. There's a decent chance we have not bottomed, because we came down with a lot of momentum and we kind of just bounced from there without seeing any real deceleration, or in other words, there was no bullish divergence building up really as we came down here. And so typically what I like to see is something like we saw in the last pullback back here. See over here at this bottom, we get this deceleration. See the indicator? Get the bullish divergence where we get the higher low crosses up on our indicator, like so, but our price makes lower lows, and we kind of see this base formation down here with the bullish divergence. Now that is ideal, and we also got it at the last one here. So you can see we kind of based out for a while. We had the actual low was a higher low on our indicator, like this. We didn't put in the low of our pullback on a fresh low on our indicators or momentum, which kind of doesn't give me the ideal setup here. And I like seeing that we have a nice bullish divergence setup. That would be ideal to see here. It doesn't mean it has to happen. I mean, look, this pullback here, it doesn't always happen that way, but a lot of the time, at least for me, the way that I trade, I'm looking for these types of decelerations. See here, you can see we push down with kind of a strong momentum, and then our bottom is actually a higher low. So you can see on the indicator, we actually bottom without making a fresh low on our indicator with the momentum reading. but sometimes we do. So, ideally I can, see one more push down on this current pullback with this daily time frame to get a bit of a bullish divergence built up there. Doesn't mean it has to happen. And so how do we play it if it just bottoms here? It may already be bottom. So let's talk about that scenario. Let's just say that it already bottomed here, which is totally possible. May have bottomed already. What I would then look for is lower time frames to start showing me some signs of bullishness. And what that means is we start breaking into bullish structure. So for example, on this 4-hour time frame, this is the 4-hour bullish structure high here. Bearish structure high. So we're still in a bearish trend, still in bearish structure on the 4-hour time frame. What I really want to start seeing if we're going to bottom, getting into some bullish structure. So that 4-hour time frame is a good start. Let's just say that we then broke over that level, which is the bearish structure 4-hour high, and then start looking for a higher low to continue that little uptrend that we were kind of getting underway with if we are to break the bearish structure. But at the moment, we're still in bearish structure, so can't really say anything about that yet. But what I would say is look for either the 4-hour structure to get bullish, meaning 4-hour close over 93,000, or another way to kind of look for a position or a good entry would be, okay, let's start looking for a bullish divergence to start forming down here. So that would look something like this. If I'm to draw it in, that would look something like this. Could just be one time, could be 2 times. Back here, we had a couple swings at the lows there before bottoming. But just looking for that bullish divergence on the daily here, or on that 4-hour, those lower time frames, start getting some bullish structure built up, start reclaiming 200 EMAs. So if we put on the 200 EMA here, let's go to the 4-hour, can see that we've been kind of comfortably trading below that 4-hour 200 EMA. Reclaim that 4-hour 200 EMA, see a pullback over it that's corrective in nature and bullish structure. Maybe we have something there. On a previous pullback, I had an entry that I had made a whole video about when I entered it, posted it publicly when I was entering it as well. This one right here, this pullback. So I didn't quite nail the lows of this pullback, but I did nail the whole expansion up here, and that was from this pullback here. So you can see you don't need to nail the exact lows from an actual trading perspective if you're actively trading. Got a beautiful pullback right here with the bullish divergence, 4-hour bullish structure, 4-hour bullish divergence here. And I have a whole video covering this in real time when it happened with my entry shown. That was a beautiful setup. So we can always wait. Don't need to enter right away. Either, we get this great setup on the daily with the bullish divergence, or wait for that 4-hour to give a nice setup, something along those lines. But there's some things that I'm looking for, and kind of the overall scenario that I see as possibilities. They're all possibilities, of course. No one knows what's going to happen for sure. But I'm currently still kind of going with the idea that we see new highs, and that Bitcoin does make all-time highs to 200K, 180K, whatever it may be. I don't know the exact price, of course. But yeah, my idea is bear market's not in. I know a lot of people think bear market's already in, which is fine. We'll see. No one knows. So I think that pretty much covers it for this video. Invalidations covered, the bullish thesis covered, ideas for forming a bottom, and that's it. We'll see how things pan out. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.